Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. And today we want to talk about Poshmark. So Poshmark is something that's actually been in our family, something that we've used, or more so my wife has used for a long time. So it's something that we're very familiar with. And so basically it's another social e-commerce, social commerce site where people can go on and they can sell different items. But before we get into that, be sure to like and subscribe, stick around. On this channel, we like to talk about money, we like to talk about investing, we like to talk about how you can succeed whether you have money or you don't have a lot of money. And in particular, videos like this is less about stock picking and more about learning and doing your own research, as well as just starting to kind of be able to analyze things for yourself so that way that you can pass that knowledge on. Nothing's wrong with stock picking. That is the majority of what happens with the stock channels on YouTube, and that's perfectly fine. But on this channel, it's called Get Smart, because I want you guys to learn. I want you to be able to think for yourself, because the more you learn, the more you're able to use your own wisdom, your own thoughts, your own perspective to be able to see things happening around you. And what that does is it will make you smarter, not just in the stock investing world, but in anything, in real estate and in any arena as you're making decisions, because you'll be able to see things and how it can actually affect, your money, or it can affect the economy, or how well it could do or how well it won't do, all because you're learning and you're thinking and you're not just taking someone's word for it. And on today, we're talking about Poshmark. So as I stated before, Poshmark is something that has been in our family for a very long time. My wife has been one of the Poshmark's ambassadors. Like, it's kind of like a partnership, as well as she has been a top seller for a very long time with the company. And all it is simply you're just kind of selling things that you have. Let's say if you have clothes, or especially like if you have kids' clothes, like we have several kids, and we're able to take clothes that we may not want to use, and she will go on there, make sure the clothes are clean, iron them, maybe have one of the kids try something on, take a picture, or maybe even be able to, prop things up, or if it's clothing that she has, maybe model it or whatever the case is, to just be able to sell it to others that are on that platform, which a lot of people that buy on that platform are also sellers. So it's basically just taking your clothes that you may not need, clothes that are relatively clean and they're not just worn out, or even where people may go to like the Goodwill or different yard sales and things like that. Maybe they'll find some items like some clothing, because clothing is like the top thing that they sell on this platform, and it can be used for men and women. It's just mostly used by women, but you could take clothes from the Goodwill, whatnot, find something good, and it may have some value there, and maybe be able to just clean it up, make it look nice, whatever the case is, and resell it on Poshmark. And a lot of people make a lot of money from Poshmark. For some people, I know a few people that make a living off of it. In particular, at one point in our life, in our entrepreneurial journey and being business owners, we've actually used e-commerce a great deal to help bring an extra source of income coming in on top of whatever we were already making. So Poshmark is not a fly-by-night company. It's been around since 2011, started by Manish Chandra. Excuse me if I said the name wrong, but Manish Chandra is the one who started it. So it's been around going on 10 years now. Now, the way they make their money is they have a flat fee that is associated with every single purchase. And if the purchase is more than like, $15, $20 or so, then they take like 20% of that, for their own fees, and you get to keep the rest of the money. And like I said before, the money that you make, you can withdraw it, or you can simply go on Poshmark and find something and buy it. So people are buying on there all day long. But let me just mention, this is also a good place where people can actually sell, clothing that they may make and things like that as well. It's not always used, but that's just kind of the most commonly way that people are selling on the app. So now the industry of what this is it's in that e-commerce space of selling. So if you don't know, the sales have went up so much in this past year, or a little less than a year, just based off of everything that's happened with the pandemic. It's called online sales for anything like e-commerce to online products to online courses. Everything has skyrocketed. Online engagement has literally went through the roof, went to the moon. So it's in that arena, just like your Amazons and your Wish and your eBays and companies like that, to where it brings the individual like myself or like yourself, like I talked about my wife, who can now start a business through the actual app, just like a lot of these other social e-commerce platforms, or just e-commerce platforms where you can just sell things. So the scale of that industry is astronomical. In fact, in the last year, we've seen record-breaking numbers in e-commerce that we haven't seen in the last 10 years. Thanks to the pandemic. So it's safe to say it's within an industry that is, typically safe, and so you don't have to really worry about Will it be around? Will it last? Etc. Because as we look at things going forward and how things are going to play in, people are going to continue to do more and more online shopping. And one of the great things about the online shopping, and even with things that are going on right now, like even to where an individual can make income, like what you see with your side hustles, like your Ubers, your Lyfts, your Instacarts, your DoorDashes, and even Walmart has their own delivery service that they've been rolling out that from my understanding has been doing pretty good wherever it started. Then you have your companies like your Amazons and your eBays and things like that, which also brings the same facet. And in a time where people have like lost their jobs and have been trying to figure out how to gain income and to make income, they turn to things like being able to do a side hustle where it's drive or rather it's to sell something online. And Poshmark is right in line and one of those avenues that people use for that. Like for ourselves personally, like we did pretty good with the e-commerce when we were really focused on it. Like we did make a lot of sales, and we also have our own like kind of e-commerce sales group, like Yard Sale is group that we started a long time ago, and it has almost 40,000 people within it. Like almost every day we're having hundreds and hundreds of people come to that particular group looking to join because they're trying to make sales because they want to make money or they got stuff to get rid of. But in a pandemic like right now, we've seen an uptick so much with the people that are coming to the group because they're looking to make money. So a company like Poshmark is one of those companies that people go to that's like, listen, I want to be able to make some money. I need to make money, or I want to start a business because my job is shut down, etc. And even if that's not the case, just it being a good side hustle to make some extra money, I know several people who are using this particular avenue to do that. So whether you like the industry or not, it's pretty much going to make money because of its position and how we do things. Remember how we spend money and what we're looking to do. So I don't personally see any problems with Poshmark moving forward. I just see them being a company that will continue to grow and will continue to help people to make money and continue to innovate as they have been. All the way to the point that you've even had some people who are ambassadors who are able to get some dibs into the IPO. And once the company went public, they were actually able to make some money from that just because of their longevity and their selling and their status on the Poshmark platform. Now that's pretty cool, the fact that you can be really pushing for something, you can be an ambassador, and then they give a select number of ambassadors based off of different metrics, numbers, etc. And they say, hey, would you like to invest in our company? We're about to go public. We will allow you to be able to get within the IPO and get at a cheaper price before it goes public, just because of our relationship and everything you've pretty much done for our company just from you selling online. So, personally, we were pretty excited to see it go public because it's been something that, like I said, that has been used in our household for a very long time. My wife still has her account. So, for us, I think Poshmark is definitely one to pay attention to. So now when it came out, it hit $95 a share. Now, all the while, I think that's a really great company. I do think the price is a little bit expensive, and it somewhat came down to about $80 to $83 a share. But once again, in this particular market in the last 12 months, whether we think a price is too high or too low, we have seen our market respond totally different from the way that we think. So there's a good chance that this stock could come down some, could come down to maybe around 70 or even 60. But, the way things have been going, who knows? It could continue to go up. It could come down where it is now. That could be the bottom. Now, personally, I would like to see it get a little bit lower to around 50 or 60. That's for me personally. But once again, these numbers and these IPOs have pretty much just like blew past most of the numbers that most of us expected it to be at. So for the e-commerce space, I don't think it's too expensive if you're playing this long term. If you're trying to get a trade and things like that, then you might want to watch it because it's probably just a little bit too high right now. But long term, its potential is just as good as the potential of Wish, just as good as the potential of eBay, just as good as the potential of any e-commerce site that's out there like that, where it allows regular people like ourselves and even companies to be able to sell through the app. So what do you guys think about Poshmark? Have you ever heard of it? Is it a buy for you, a sell? What are your thoughts? What have you heard? What are you looking to do if you're interested in this particular company? All right, guys, I will talk to you in the next video. Be sure to check out the description below. I have some resources down there that may help you within your investing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.